You are listening to the Fine Food and Healthy Living Asia podcast,
where we talk about fine food and healthy living throughout Asia.
So let's get started. Hey everybody, Ian and Todd here.
Welcome to the Fine Food and Healthy Living Asia podcast.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Fine Food and Healthy Living Asia podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found on our Facebook page.
Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or on my blog, toddinasia.com. That's Todd with 2 D's in Asia.com.
All links are in the show notes. Now, let's get started. Welcome to this week's podcast. Today we're recording from a location that's in the sky. Level 55 on the Ion Orchard Road in the heart of Singapore is the Salt Grill and Sky Bar. With us today is my co-host Todd.
Hello Ian, how are you today?
I'm very well.
This is just a gorgeous view we're looking at right now. It's almost unbelievable.
It is.
And with us today is Executive Chef of Salt Grill, Jake Kowalewski.
How you going, guys?
Well, welcome to our show, Jake.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on here. Jake, can you give us a little bit of background history? How did you get into being a chef, and why?
11 years ago now, I came back from Europe. I was over there for a couple of years traveling around. Done a few things over there. I'd never worked in a kitchen. And I came back from there, and my friend was a chef. And he asked me if I need a job. At the time, I just got back from Europe, didn't have a job, so I said, why not? I'll give it a go. It was for a kitchen hand. So I started in the kitchen, washing pots and cleaning plates and sweeping floors and all this kind of stuff.
Started washing dishes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did that for 2 years actually. It was in a little island in North Queensland, Dunk Island. Yeah, it was and from there, I guess, I fell in love with the kitchen and intensity and the atmosphere of it and the whole way it runs, like when it runs a well-oiled machine, you know, it's really quite something smooth and very rewarding.
Yeah. So what happened from there? Did you get an apprenticeship with a chef or?
Yeah, I done a traineeship at Hilton Sydney in hospitality, and then I was also a kitchen hand for the most of that time. It was covered all aspects of the hotel actually, and then after I finished that, I approached the executive chef of the hotel for an apprenticeship in the kitchen, and then I went from there. After that, I went to work for Luke Mangan, who I'm working for now. And then since that, I think 8 years I've been working for him. I did 4.5 years in Sydney, and now I've done, just on 3 years here.
And Luke Mangan, a world famous chef in his own right, of course. And how many restaurants does Luke own?
At the moment, we have about there's 7 restaurants, but then we also have the Virgin Business Class and Virgin Lounges out of Australia.
Right.
And also the P&O cruise ships from Sydney. We have at least one restaurant in each of those.
And your other restaurants, where are they located? Are they all in Australia or elsewhere?
No, we have 2 in Sydney. We have Glass Brasserie, which is more of our flagship restaurant. And then we have 2 here in Singapore. We have 1 grill and 1 tapas. And then in Japan, in Tokyo, we have 1 fine dining and 1 grill restaurant also.
I haven't had a chance to properly thank you for Rochelle and I had New Year's Eve dinner here. It was actually quite fogged in. We were hoping to see some nice fireworks, but that didn't even matter because the food was just so out of this world. We were very happy, and thanks again for sending over the oysters. That was just delicious, little add-on touch to our meal, and just every single course was meticulously put together and presented so beautifully. And I just couldn't see a hitch in. I mean, I'm in the restaurant business, so I look around at the other tables, and everything's just running so great and so smooth, and almost no stress even. So the operations here under your watchful eye just seems to be A to Z. I'd say close to perfect. Just really great.
Cheers. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
You tend to specialise in a lot of Australian food, and you get a lot of Australian ingredients coming in. So how hard is it to source those products?
depending on what you want and what quality you want, and it depending on the time of the year for vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
do you get any breaks on delivery charges because you're involved with Virgin, or is that not?
No, that definitely doesn't come into play.
That's a good idea, and I want to cut at that if you guys can start saving money.
I wish. No, we don't get anything like that. I wish we could. But yeah, but we're lucky where if we can't get it from Australia at the time, if the quality's not there, we can get from Europe.
And Malaysia, do you get any
Malaysia,
produce or?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of my herbs from Gentine.
Mm.
Yeah, they have a big farm up there.
Okay.
I do tomatoes and all types of herbs and leaves and things like that.
Mm. Nice. So recently we saw you were, I think, the guest chef on the Orient Express. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. My boss was the guest chef, but I was the one there doing it with him.
Magnan was the guest chef.
Yeah, they invited us there to do a one-off dinner.
Yeah.
And yeah, that went quite well. It was quite an experience to see how everything runs on board.
I'll bet.
That was just a overnight dinner, or was
it was 2 nights, but our dinner was on the second night, so obviously we had to be there on the first night. We enjoyed the hospitality there, and the second night we done some business and then came home.
Fantastic.
Now, how does that work with? How do they get their food? Obviously, they're traveling quite a long way.
Yeah, it's very, very complex actually. The executive chef Yanis was explaining to me about it. He has to in JB in Malaysia. It's quite hard to get all this stuff.
Johor Bahru. Yeah.
To get all these premium ingredients in Malaysia, it's very hard. So he has to either bring it from Bangkok or somehow get it through from Singapore, which is also very risky.
Yeah.
Of
course.
So is that where the train starts? Is JB?
It starts at Woodland Station, but it docks in JB.
And where does it end up?
It finishes in Bangkok.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the center.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wow.
Right.
We got to do that
bang.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful trip.
So how many tables do they have in their dining car?
They can have up to 100 packs.
Really?
I think for ours there was 70.
Okay.
There's two dining rooms, and they split it into 2 seatings.
Aha.
So yeah, around 35 per seating.
Wow. What fun that must be.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
And the galley or the kitchen, that was quite tight and small.
It's like my kitchen here is quite small, but
pretty small.
It's half the size of that.
Gee.
Oh.
Yeah, it's small.
Wow.
It's just enough room to walk through.
So it was just you and Luke working it, and you had...
Well, we had all the crew from the train to help us. Obviously, it's a bit tough, but we got there. Basically, I was in there managing the kitchen, and Luke was out doing the talking out the front. Basically.
Right. He was doing the celebrity chef thing.
Yeah.
While you were doing all the work.
Yeah, that's how it rolls.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Well, I have to ask this question: were there any murders on the Orient Express?
Not that I heard of.
You've got a new menu that's coming out. We've got some beautiful things on there: caviar, oysters, some wonderful ingredients. What are some of the new items that you're really impressed with?
Okay, well, I've got the Australian Cambinata crayfish, or Yabbies we call it in Australia. So that's one product that I was extremely happy with, and I'm very glad to be introduced to this.
And we just had a sneak preview taste of those. So
we did.
Deliciously prepared.
They were amazing. Can you tell us a bit, how did you prepare them?
Okay, so the Yabbies get delivered live. So what we do is we kill them humanely. Yes. And I really hate to do it, but I do it. Yeah. And then we take the heads and the tail off, and we blanch the tail for about 1 minute, and then shock it in ice water. And then we peel it so you get the nice little lobster tail, or the crayfish tail, and it's still raw in the middle. So then for service, we heat it up, we confit it very slowly in butter, like just maybe 60 degrees, 70 degrees, so it's not boiling, it's just sitting there simmering. So you get this really sweet, I guess firm but soft texture, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's got that good mouthfeel. It's not too much soft, but it's just firm enough to chew it.
Yeah, it was very rich but light at the same time.
I'm serving it with the bisque of the head, so I'm using the heads to make the bisque with a bit of Pernod and fennel seeds and Miraquois.
Great! So you're using the whole Yabbie.
Yeah. And then
fantastic.
We're serving it with an anise blossom and which is also anise flavor. So we've got the anise inside the bisque plus the blossom there just to enhance that anise.
Yeah. Beautiful. Any other new menu items you want to let people know about?
Sourcing another product from Western Australia, Dorper lamb.
Oh, it's good
Yeah,
quality lamb.
it's very, very nice. I'm doing it like a 2 ways kind of lamb, like a roasted rack with a 48-hour braised shoulder with some borlotti beans and courgette and smoked eggplant.
Fantastic.
And that's a super tasty lamb. The Dorper lamb is
that
really
sounds
good.
so good.
Yeah, the Dorper lamb, for those that haven't had it before, it is one of the better breeds of lamb to try. Certainly amazing sort of taste and texture to it.
Very delicate compared to other lambs, more stronger and pungent.
Not quite as gamey.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
So what else do you have there, Jake?
Okay, I have this nice young beetroot and young radish salad with a burnt leek soil and almond cream and raspberry vinaigrette. So this dish is actually a vegan dish.
Okay.
So everything is completely vegan.
Fantastic.
Even
So you get a lot more requests now for vegan?
Not really. We get a small percentage, but it's always good to have something there because you don't want to be doing it on the spot.
Yeah.
You've got something there, you can offer them straight away.
Always say this is 100% vegan. Yeah, that's cool. Are there any events coming up that you want to let people know about?
Okay, we got Mother's Day coming up.
Mother's Day.
May. That'll be a big day.
Yeah.
And hopefully should be quite a successful event, I think.
When is Mother's Day in Singapore?
Second Sunday of May.
Will people need to book ahead if they want to come through?
Yeah, you just follow the links online, I guess you can call the restaurant directly. We're doing I think we're doing an $88 set, 4-course set.
Excellent.
4-course, $88.
Yeah,
Not
that's
bad.
Good value.
That's actually very good. Yeah. So we should maybe just take a minute to explain what we're seeing here. This is on top of the Ion Orchard building,
level
in
55.
Singapore, level 55. And there's a 360-degree view of all of Singapore. Plus, you can see Malaysia. I think you can see Indonesia from here.
Yeah, you can see Indonesian island, Bintan, straight up.
Wow, yeah. So it is just breathtaking view. And, you get monsoons coming in and out of here and sunshine and rainfall. And, just being up here is literally like being in the clouds.
It would have to be one of the best views or locations in Singapore by far of any restaurant.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. So it's just a brilliant place to come, and you also there's a bar attached to the Sky Bar.
Yep.
And what is the menu there?
We just have a small cocktail list and a great big wine list of like 300 wines I think we have, something like that. And our food menus is quite simple and straightforward bar menu.
Okay.
Yeah, just
tapas.
like similar. Yeah, some tapas, a little bit of charcuterie, some oysters, some steak tartare.
Nice. So you can just come in without a reservation.
Yeah, for sure.
Sit in the bar and have some charcuterie or whatnot. Yeah, nice.
What time does it open?
The bar is open from when we open the restaurant at 11:30.
Okay.
And then it will be open till 12 o'clock and midnight.
Okay.
Sounds great. And if it's still full, they'll keep going for a while.
What time do you stop serving here, just with your main meals? Or
in the restaurant, our final seating is 9:45. Yeah, so
pretty fairly late. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still cooking quite late.
Yeah. So you're wrapping up around 11, 12 o'clock.
11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and you go home.
Yeah, and come
go
back
to sleep,
again,
and then come right back.
Right back again. Yeah, after a few hours of sleep.
A few hours of sleep. Typical chef's life.
Yeah.
Wow. So you mentioned 300 different wines on your wine list. Do you have a sommelier here? Or
We do. We have a sommelier. Yeah. He's from Ukraine.
And you work together on pairing the wine and the
we
food?
do. We do a lot of wine pairing dinners actually. Small ones. We try to do one a month with a different wine company, a different brand. Yeah.
You had last time we spoke, you actually had an event for whiskey.
Yes, we had the Macallan. They launched the Macallan number 3. It's quite interesting concept to match whiskey with food. You have to really think about it, the flavors, because if you have something too intense, it will really take away from what they're drinking.
Give us an example of one of the dishes and what you paired it with.
Okay, well, I'll do the main. The main dish was a Wagyu short rib. So it was braised 24 hours
Oh,
at 75 degrees.
Wow.
In Guinness, and the Macallan number 3.
okay.
The Macallan number 3 is $400 a bottle.
Gee,
Wow.
So I used the whole bottle of it just to cook the beef.
Wow.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
That
but
was-
it turned out really, really nice. So in the end, I glazed it. I had some star anise and some maple syrup, and I just really sticky. And,
Oh man, but that was just
a bit
awesome.
of smoked potato
Yeah,
puree
nice. And that was paired with.
with the whiskey that I cooked it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Oh,
So you
sounds
can't
good.
really go wrong there.
Any more wine dinners
We
coming
do.
up?
We have one in end of April and then one in early mid-May.
Okay.
Okay.
And will that be on your website?
It will be on the website, yes.
And what is the website for our listeners?
Just saltgrill.com.
Saltgrill.com. Doesn't get any easier. What are your hobbies outside of work?
What I used to like doing a lot, but I don't get much time to do here, is fishing. I used to play cricket also in Australia, but I don't get the opportunity to do that here.
Oh,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
No.
Now, cricket, I've never really understood cricket. But,
I've never really understood baseball, so
yeah, see, so we're good there, right? We're
Exactly.
even. But cricket, you have the pitcher, right? What do you call that?
Bowler.
The
Bowler,
bowler.
yeah.
Okay, so the bowler, they have to hit the ground before the ball has to hit the
Technically,
ground.
they don't have to hit the
They don't
ground,
have
but
to.
it has to be below the waist.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. So then the batter, is that the batsman?
Batsman, yeah.
The batsman,
yeah.
okay. What's he trying to do?
He's trying to hit it away from the fielders and score as many runs as he can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and a
basically-
run is what? Back and forth?
Yeah.
One time.
Just up once.
Yeah.
Up
That's
the
a
pitch.
run.
There's
That's
be
Okay.
a person at each end to
Okay.
alternate.
And is there any other way to score? Or that's the only way to score.
If you can get a 4 or a 6.
A 4 or a 6?
So 4,
6 is like a home run, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then a 4 is when it hits the edge of the field, the boundary,
Before it bounces.
before it bounces.
Oh, that's like a super home run.
No,
Right.
a 4 is like a 4 is it hits the boundary
So it
after
bounces
it's
first.
along the ground, yeah.
Then it,
And then
but a 6.
Is like a home run. When
Like
it
a
goes
home
over
run,
the
yeah.
boundary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I saw this great play the other day watching cricket because it's like fascinating because I don't understand it. It's like watching aliens from outer space. But this guy hit a great hit, okay, and it was bouncing. It bounced right on the edge of the boundary, right? Is that what you call it, the boundary?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. But the fielder, like, dove, caught the ball, and before he ended up on the other side of the boundary, threw it back to another fielder
Yeah.
who caught it, and they were like, "This is the best play we've ever
Yeah,
seen."
This is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Only
awesome.
the best in the world can do that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I noticed on your website it says you've got handcrafted cocktails. Is there any specialist cocktails that you do, or is it mostly just your standard cocktail drinks?
Oh, we do a lot of different cocktails. We do one smoked old fashioned, I think it is. Yeah. So we actually get the smoke gun and we have a glass cover and we pump the smoke into it and then put the cover on. So and
Wow.
then we take it to the table when they lift it.
Oh, wow. How
That's
cool
so
is
the
that?
smoke
The
comes
smoke
out.
comes out
Yeah.
everywhere.
What kind of smoke is that?
Yeah, I think it's applewood.
Applewood smoke. Oh,
Does it infuse a little bit with the drink
Yeah,
itself?
slightly. I guess
Yeah.
it would. It'd have to just a tinge, but it's just the aroma of it there.
yeah.
And then we have the Australian, which is our signature cocktail. It's made from a special syrup with lime leaf, star anise, cinnamon. Yeah, it looks a bit like a cosmopolitan, I think.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's very refreshing.
Going back, sorry to skip all over the place, but I was just thinking, going back to your menu, Australian bush herbs have become very popular in Australian cooking. Do you get to use many of those here?
Not really, a little bit. I'd like to use more, but it's hard to come by here. So I'm using things like sea fennel and salty finger, and all these kind of sea succulents, you call them. Yeah, they're all quite abundant in Australia, but mine are actually coming from Holland. Yeah, but it's hard to find them in Australia. Sometimes I get the samphire from Australia.
Okay.
A little sea asparagus. Yeah, I'd like to use more of it, but
It's even hard in Australia to find
yeah.
them. But
Most of the guys are getting them themselves.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Bush tomatoes, for example.
Yeah, they're
lemon
super
myrtle.
nice.
Do you use lemon myrtle?
Yeah, I've used lemon myrtle here before. Not currently, but I've used it. That's what I wanted to do with the Yabbies. I wanted to lemon myrtle spice and then grill it, lemon myrtle butter.
So these are all native Australian.
That's correct. So
vegetables.
There's
spices.
There's a lot of
finger limes. I use a lot of finger limes.
Yeah.
We get them from Australia, but they're very seasonal.
Yes.
So when they're out of season, they usually have stock in the freezer, so they freeze quite well actually.
Okay.
And
That's
Ian,
good.
you mentioned bush tomatoes.
Yeah.
What are those?
It's a little. It's almost exactly how it sounds, but
Super pungent and sour, sweet.
yeah.
Okay.
But they're quite small,
Yeah.
and generally, Australia has a lot of bush herbs that a lot of people don't know about because the indigenous population for 20,000 years or more
Right.
have been picking all these bush
Yeah.
herbs, and it's not until more recent times that chefs have been starting to use them more in
Oh
cooking.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of these kind of herbs around. It's just
Yeah.
the
Probably very
education.
healthy.
Yeah, the education of it's not fully out there yet, I guess.
Yes.
Once
Yeah.
it gets a bit more mainstream, everybody will be using it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more common now.
You kind of fell into cooking. First
I did.
Of all.
I thought I'd never be a chef. I laughed at my friends being a chef. I really did.
Yeah.
I said, how can you do that? Work every weekend,
Yeah.
every night,
Yeah. And
all
then,
day,
and then you literally scrubbed pots and pans for 2 years.
just to become one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's funny
kind of worked your way up. And it's very similar to my background too. I started as a dishwasher also.
For me, I think everyone should start as that.
Yeah.
If you want to be a chef,
Right.
You gotta
If you don't
experience-
start from the bottom,
Yeah.
you don't appreciate the bottom.
No, exactly.
Well,
So
it's
now
very
when you
hard to
tell
appreciate it.
when you ask a dishwasher to do something, that's something you've done
Yeah.
yourself. So
Yeah.
you at least have some empathy there.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
and
then-
they'll be able to have the same respect for you as well,
Right,
because they know
knowing
that
that
you've
It's
done
very
that.
true.
Right.
Once
So
you
then
lead by example. That's
through training, through working with Luke, through your experiences, you've really become a top chef in not only Singapore, but really,
Southeast Asia.
yeah. And putting it all together, looking back on your life and all that happened, would you say there's any kind of purpose or theme or through line there that has kind of led you to where you are right now?
Once I got in the kitchen, everything just kept falling into place for me, I think. Because when I started the kitchen, I didn't know I wanted to be a chef. After a very short time, I wanted to do it. It just, something clicked. I said, oh, I like this. Even though I was the person doing all the dirty work, cleaning up after everybody, scrubbing the pots, washing the dishes. Yeah, it's not a glamorous job, but if you work hard, you can get to where you want to be in the kitchen, especially if you have the dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can teach yourself. Yeah.
And you can travel anywhere.
Yeah,
once
you
you've
get
got those skills.
last year I've
Right. You
just
can
in-
end up being on the Orient Express.
yeah in the last 6 months I've done an event in Tokyo, Hong
Uh-huh.
Kong, and
Wow.
then the Orient Express just in the last 6 months. So,
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
so you get to see a lot of the world.
Yeah, so just working as a guest chef at these different restaurants.
Yeah, we done it in Hong Kong. We done a pop-up restaurant at the Conrad for two weeks, and then I went to Tokyo. We done the 10th anniversary for our other restaurant there, a bit of an event that night. Yeah, and then I did the Orient Express.
Yeah, Tokyo must have been amazing.
Yeah, Tokyo it's another world over there. It's so far away from the rest of the world, but it's so I really love the city. It's so organized and so, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah.
There's always something interesting.
Yeah, well, there's a few people we've talked to that really just love Japan, love Tokyo, and just, it's such a special place.
I
Yeah.
was actually blown away how clean it was for the amount of people. I'd
Right.
say it's more clean than Singapore.
Yeah.
Wow.
and Singapore's
that's
clean.
Yeah.
Singapore's pretty clean.
For instance, one night there it was the garbage collection night, and the way they pack their garbage is the way they'd like pack something on a shelf like to sell it.
Wow.
It was so neatly displayed and
Oh.
tied up. It was just crazy.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, just a real attention to detail.
Yes,
to their rubbish.
the detail is nothing is missed.
Thanks for being on the show today, Jake. We've really enjoyed your company. It's been a fascinating journey. Your restaurant is just stunning.
Yeah, I love this place.
Even, look, people, if while you're listening, even if you don't come up here for a dinner, come up and grab a coffee or a drink at the Sky Bar, because it's just incredible.
Yeah, the view is just amazing. And do try to make a lunch or dinner, because the food is just sublime.
Yeah, it's without a doubt some of the best in Singapore.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks,
you, Jack.
Jack.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
If you're enjoying the Fine Food and Healthy Living Asia podcast, please consider supporting us by going to our homepage at www.finefoodandhealthylivingasia.com and making a donation.
We are beginning a new way to support the show by subscribing as a loyal member. Another option on our homepage at finefoodandhealthylivingasia.com. There are options to choose for the level of support you wish to give.
We will always make our podcasts available for free and appreciate your patronage to be able to do so.
If you subscribe with iTunes, please remember to give us a 5-star rating. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and then give us a 5-star rating. For other subscribers on Google Play, Spotify, or any other aggregators, please rate us there. Once again, thank you for listening to the show.